Welcome to Saxon Math Course 3, Lesson 119. Now, Lesson 119 is about complex fractions, and I'm going to actually show you about two different ways that we can deal with complex fractions. Now, important to remember is that division can always be written as a fraction, and a fraction always represents division. Now, if we see a fraction like this, 1/5 over 2/3, that looks pretty weird. There's a fraction in the numerator, up top, and one in the denominator, in the bottom. So how would you simplify that? And the answer is we could look at this as division instead of a fraction. So if we were to make this into a division problem, it would be 1/5 divided by 2/3. Remember that when you divide by a fraction, you multiply by the reciprocal. You keep, you change, and you flip. So you keep the 1/5, change the division to multiplication, and flip 2/3 to be 3/2. And then you would have 3 times 1 is 3, 5 times 2 is 10. Now, if this looks like a lot of steps where you think you might get stuck up, there is another alternative way that you could solve this problem. And that's by looking to get rid of the fractions. Now, here we have a fraction with a denominator of 5 and a denominator of 3. Now, first we look, do these two things have anything in common? No? Well, then we would say, what's their least common factor? Or least common multiple? Well, if we work it out, we'll find that their least common multiple is 15. Now, if I multiply this by 15 over 1 over 15 over 1, this is a fraction with the same thing on the top as on the bottom. So it's the same as multiplying by 1. Now here, 5 will cancel out here. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 15 divided by 5 is 3. 3 will cancel out here. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 15 divided by 3 is 5. And you'll have 1 times 3 is 3, and 2 times 5 is 10. So you can see we get the same answer both ways, because both of these are getting rid of the complex fraction. Example 2 asks us to simplify 1/2 plus 1/3 over 1/3 plus 1/4. Well, before we do any multiplication or division, we're going to need to deal with the addition first, and before we deal with the addition, we need a common multiple denominator. So 2 and 3 both have a lowest common multiple of 6. So 3 times 1 and 2 give us 3/6, and 1/3 times 2 over 2 would give us 2/6. 4 and 3 have a least common multiple of 12. 3 times 4 is 12, so 4 times 1 is 4/12. And 3 times 1 and 3 times 4 would give us 3/12. Now if we add these together, we'd have 5/6 and 7/12, which would give us 5 over 6 divided by 7 over 12, or 5/6 times 12/7. Now here we can cancel the 6 and the 12, giving us 1 and 2. 5 times 2 is 10. 1 times 7 is 7. Now, alternatively, we can use the same method as up here. If we have 5 over 6 and 7 over 12 from this step, 6 and 12, 6 multiplies into 12, so we're going to multiply both of these by 12. 12 and 12 will cancel. 6 and 12 will reduce. 6 will reduce to 1. 12 will reduce to 2. 2 times 5 is 10. And 7 times 1 is 7. And you'll see, again, both methods give you the same answer. Now, this last example asks us to change 28 and 4/7% to a fraction and then simplify it. Well, a percentage is a fraction over 100, so we can write 28 and 4/7 over 100. Now, when we have a mixed number, we want to convert the mixed number to a fraction first. 28 times 7 is 96. 96 plus 4 is 196. 96 plus 4 is 200. So we have 200 over 7 over 100 over 1. So we could write that as 200 over 7 divided by 100 over 1, or 200 over 7 times 1 over 100. The 100 can reduce, giving us 1 and 2, leaving us with 2 sevenths as our final answer. Now, that has been how we can simplify and reduce complex fractions. Stay safe, stay inside, and wash your hands.